Ooh. What's up, good people? It's time for another session of that verbal cardio, man. We back. We back in business, man. We back out here, man. Another episode of me running my mouth. Verbal cardio. That's why it's called that, just in case you were wondering where the title came from. It's just me running my mouth. You know what I'm saying? Verbal cardio. I got my co-host extraordinaire, Water, Tony's co-host. Shout out to Kat for getting me this. Water, man. Vitality right here, man. This is everything. This is everything, man. All your ailments, you need to get in on this. Think about all the medicine you take. You got to wash it down with something. Wash it down with water, man. Every time you hear about people taking their own life, they overdose on the pills and they wash it down with vodka. You always hear about them, man, they had the vodka in the pills and they OD'd. You know what I'm saying? Water helps you take those big ass dry pills, man. I got my foot propped up. Why? Because water. Water is life, man. Respect it. Hold it. Cherish it. Sabrina, producer extraordinaire, is back.
Yep.
She was in Houston last week. H-Time.
It's nice. I like it.
If you will. You like Houston?
Yeah, there's a lot of parts that feel so brand new.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, man, this is fresh on the scene.
Big houses.
Right. Everything it seems so clean.
Yeah.
But there was times where I was like, oh yeah, I'm in the hood now.
Yeah.
And I felt it.
You hit the hood?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I didn't get a chance to hit the hood.
It was like, it's funny because there's this one part that I was like, is this the hood?
Yeah.
And because it was like confusing, like coming from a place where the hood is like projects,
Mm-hmm.
and then when I remember going to Compton for the first time and be like, yo, these houses are mad nice. Like, why y'all mad?
Right.
Why y'all shooting people and then going home to this gorgeous ass house with mad square footage?
That's how I feel about Cali hoods, man.
Yeah.
It's just, you got a house, you got a yard, a front porch.
Right, the porch. That should create peace on its own.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm just like, yo, you got a yard, man. Why are y'all getting shot in the yard?
Right. It's so funny. But
let me ask you, would you prefer to live in a nice neighborhood but it's brand spanking, everything's new, or a nice neighborhood that's been there a while?
I like the new element because we kind of live in a new neighborhood.
Yeah.
And I just like how fresh it feels.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially since like my lifestyle,
Mm-hmm.
like going to the gym, I want my gym to be pretty new.
Yeah.
The gym I went to in Houston was new. Loved
Mm-hmm.
it. All the machines were brand spanking new. Everything felt amazing in there. And then even like a new neighborhood means that I might have a vegan option at a restaurant. Cause like old neighborhoods are like, they'd be like, no. Unless it's like an old neighborhood in Manhattan. There's always been vegan options over there.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, outside of that. No.
Amir, put this put this poll in the Chatsworth, man. Would they rather live in a new neighborhood or old one? They both nice, both immaculate. New or old? What you going with? Shout out to the Chatsworth, man. The patron saints up in here, man. The bakery, they up in here tough in the Chatsworth, as I like to call it, man. I appreciate y'all, man. Shout out to Afro, man. Latoya, that Sizzle, Miss Ree Renee, Pretty Pisces, and the whole crew. I'm going to go with, I prefer an older, nice neighborhood because I just like history and like old shit. Sometimes the new stuff is just too new and just it feels incomplete a lot of the time. And I just like that, like when I'm in an old neighborhood in various cities and I'm just like, yo, it's so dope out here. I get a different feeling than when I go to a new neighborhood.
That's different though. I'm thinking California new because old neighborhoods out here are trash. Think about where we are right now. Think about where the studio is located. When you're driving through this neighborhood's old. I'm good.
It's industrial though.
But
over
yeah,
here. This is big industrial.
But even
This is
like,
whack,
well,
but
think
like-
of like
Go like somewhere like
Reseda. I don't like
No.
Reseda.
Altadena.
Like,
That's
but
old.
Pasadena is
Yeah,
old.
Pasadena's
That's
cool.
old.
Pasadena's cool. But like if I'm like say old Brooklyn, like brownstones, I'm in there. Old Chicago, that even looks really nice.
I
That's
feel like-
different. I would love that. But those are old cities.
I like old
LA's an old city.
neighborhoods. LA
Like-
is older than a lot of people think, and Pasadena is mad old and it's beautiful there.
Pasadena's nice.
And I would prefer that over a new developed neighborhood, or even like because some cities are just whack across the board. Some areas out here, but like I just like even in Burbank, Toluca Lake is old.
Yeah, like
And it's beautiful over there. And like that's probably like one of my favorite areas in LA, in the LA area. And the area in Burbank over there by kind of where the Disney studio is. It's old over there too. And I like that area. So I'm gonna go with old.
I will go old East Coast, new West Coast. Because even like
Okay.
when I think of Arizona, I'd like newer
Yeah.
areas. So yeah, like when it comes to the West Coast, new.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the East, old.
I can see that.
Yeah, even Midwest, I would go old, and then
Yeah.
down south, new. Because I like new Atlanta, like the way new Atlanta, like things that look new in Atlanta.
Yeah.
I like the way it looks.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I think it's all regional for me personally.
Because sometimes like that neighborhood we went to and by Six Flags.
Oh yeah, that's crazy.
It's dope, but it's just too naked over there.
Yeah.
'Cause it's so
Yeah.
new. It's just like
That's the new neighborhoods feel lifeless.
it's
That's what I don't
something-
like about it either.
But
There's
I like
something there that's
seeing-
missing. It'd be like, all right, like even our neighborhood now is super walkable, super attractive, but it don't have no soul at all. It don't have no.
Yeah, nothing's
I don't
really
have a
happened there
sense
yet.
of neighborhood
Yeah.
when I'm walking around there.
I get that.
And so I'll just
yeah.
be like, it's attractive. Don't get me wrong. I love walking around, but it's just, I don't know. It's something about old neighborhoods. They got an extra swag to them.
I'm with the old neighborhoods pretty much across the board.
Yeah.
Because it gives it, even if there are some, like a mix of newer houses or anything in that particular neighborhood, it gives it some sense of diversity as far as design. And just, you could kind of look at a house and be like, man, you could feel where it came from.
Yeah.
New houses all look very similar.
Oh, they
Their
starting to look the
design
same,
very
yeah.
similar. And I guess that'll be the trend for when we look back at things 30, 40 years from now and be like, well, these houses was built in the 2010s and shit. But
Right.
just in general, it's like, as far as design has gone, we went from maximalism to minimalism.
Yeah.
And now all the houses feel like they look exactly the same from the outside to the inside.
Right.
So everything is kind of structured in a way where it's like, kind of things like, they all look similar. Like where my parents live in Atlanta, all the houses in the subdivision are similar. They're newer houses, but they all are similar. But they don't have the full new design like modern houses look. They kind of have
Right.
like a in between. Like they don't look like they was in the 90s where all the houses were trying to be flat.
Yeah.
But they have like stories to them, basements, bricks, and stuff like that. So they gave it's a new built house with an old school design in a sense.
Oh, gotcha.
But not as old as like my grandma's house where she has a porch and
Yeah.
and an overlook and all that kind of stuff like
Yeah.
that. So
When your parents moved into that neighborhood?
we moved in there in 2011, but I think that house was built in it was built in 2000. So it's
wow,
a
it
new.
is
new,
new.
super
Yeah.
new. Wow.
Yeah.
And your grandmother's house is
My grandma got that house in, I want to say the 60s or early, the late 60s probably.
oh wow.
Yeah, and where I'm from in Virginia is historically it's pretty much an almost all black city.
Oh, so your grandmother's house is in Virginia.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
my upbringing is half
Gotcha.
Virginia, half Atlanta. So they're in Virginia, and her house is like it was mostly like a predominantly black neighborhood. Like
Yeah.
you see like a TV show, and they be like the black TV shows back in the day, and that neighborhood was like that.
Oh,
Now a
wow.
lot of these houses are broken down or they burned up or anything like that, and then they redeveloped and try to put the projects across the street and all this other crazy stuff. But they want that neighborhood because they want to gentrify it.
Of course.
And I'm worried that when they go, I don't know what's gonna happen to that house. And
What
I
part
want
of Virginia?
Petersburg.
Petersburg. That's close to what? What's the biggest city closest?
The biggest city would be Richmond, but that's about 30 minutes away.
It's 30 minutes.
So
Okay.
we're south of that. So if you've ever driven there, it's where I-85 and 95 meet,
Uh-huh.
pretty much. So I-85 ends right there.
Okay.
So that's where and it ain't nothing to see. You'll go right past it and do
Yeah.
nothing. It's like 3 exits, and then that's it. So it's a super small city, but you got a lot of history there because it's Virginia, you know, first place where colonialism and all that kind of stuff took place or whatever.
Yeah.
Then the bridge, there's a lot of, it's just, that is Virginia in itself. It's just history city.
Right.
So
Virginia got a deep history, man.
yeah.
That's what I like about the East, man. It's no disrespect to the West, but the East is just, there's so many stories within just that region of the country. It's just like, man, you know what I'm saying? It's old. There's so much going on. So much of the history that we know, you'd be like, oh, okay, this where it all began, right here. So it's crazy.
A lot of brick, man.
I love brick.
Baltimore is brick city.
I love brick. I love brick. I miss brick. Being out here, man, I love Pittsburgh brick. Yep. I love brick, man. LA, they don't respect brick out here.
They can't.
Tony likes brick and wood panel basements.
No, I don't really like
what
wood
is
panel.
it?
That panel, I know exactly what you're talking about. I can
That's what
lose
I
that.
imagine. That's what I imagine you.
No, that's
But I think it's because your dad's house.
my dad's house is like that. But I don't need the wood panel down there. The fake wood.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
exactly
I
what
don't
it is.
need that.
Plasticky.
I don't need that. But I do love a good brick house.
They just feel sturdy. That was a big deal when my
Yeah.
parents getting their house. It was like, we want a majority brick house.
And it feels like it's cooler too. Like I'm always thinking about it hot. You know, it's something about the brick.
That definitely keep you insulated a lot better. Yeah.
So
It just got to be done right, because if it's done wrong, them little holes in the...
oh man, it's coming right through.
Yo, we talking about all this, man. Did you watch The Watcher?
No.
Man.
I don't even know what that
The
is.
Watcher on Netflix, man,
Bro.
based on a true story.
I have heard people talk, but I don't know what it was about at all.
This couple that buys this house, they buy this house, little nuclear family, husband, wife, 2 kids, daughter and a son. They buy this house, you know, for a few $1 million. And when they're living there, they start getting these letters from an anonymous person like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I watch your house, this, that, and the third. You know, I'm looking forward to watching you, you know, further down the line. So they're getting these strange letters and they don't know where it's coming from. So at this point, anybody's a suspect. They got weird ass neighbors. Everybody is a suspect. Everybody's like, yo, man, it's the neighbors, it's them, it's this, that, and the third, it's this person, it's the guy installing the cameras. They don't know where to turn. And, you know, everything just unravels into this whole mess of just like, you know, pets getting killed, somebody in the house, who's responsible for this, husband turning on wife. Actually, wife turning on husband, actually.
Yeah.
Nobody can be trusted. So it was just a lot going on. And 7 episodes on Netflix. So at this point, you know, you get invested because it's like a page turn. It's like, all right, man, shit. Well, who is it now? We all in. Like, who's writing the letters? Who's responsible for this? What's gonna happen to this family? And, you know, come to find out, I don't want to get an ending away, but
Right.
it's here's what's tricky about based on true story stuff. With a fictional story, you can get closure a lot of times. Like, you know, there's a beginning, a middle, and an end. And they can close it up into a nice little package for you and just be like, here's what happened to these characters. This is what happened. This is the story. In real life, y'all know it don't always work like that. There's a lot of unsolved, unresolved, unfinished shit out here. Like one of the biggest blue ball movies I've ever seen, Blue Ball Central, and I know I was going to get blue ball because I know they never caught the killer, was the movie Zodiac.
Yeah.
Zodiac was the biggest blue ball of blue balls. But I'm walking into it knowing they never caught the Zodiac killer, but I'm watching it anyway. And then you get caught up, you get invested in these cats trying to investigate the story from the journalistic standpoint, from a guy that was just into it, and from the cop standpoint, you just like, yo, man, who's the Zodiac? And then you watch the movie and it's just like, of course they don't know who, because it never happened. It never got solved. So now you done sat there for 2.5 hours watching Mark Ruffalo, Jake Gyllenhaal, and Robert Downey Jr. You're invested. And then you remember, like, oh yeah. They never solved the case. All right, I'm getting off IG Live. If y'all want the rest of this, join the Patreon. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about. You feel me? Click the link in my bio. The Patreon link is right there. So you never get the full story. And so you walk right into some blue balls. And it's just like, man, why'd I do that to myself? So I'm going to just leave it at that. But I feel let down by the watcher because I was all in. The middle got real good. And it was like, man, I got to start the new episode. We were doing a watch party together, me and the patron saints. And it was just like, yo, man, where we going? What's next? And then I just feel like I just never got closure, like real closure. You know, it was some semblance of it, but it wasn't enough. And I'll say this. I'm going to ask you this, Sabrina. Do you think that house is worth $3 million? Considering the location.
Jersey? Yeah. It was a nice house.
It was a nice house.
It
Beautiful
had-
yard.
Yeah, like everything about it was
Yeah,
like
it was a nice house.
like that makes more sense to be $3 million than what you would find for $3 million in Burbank.
Right, for sure.
Yeah.
For
so
sure.
like, yeah, it's a $3 million house. And it's
Yeah.
got history to it.
It was attractive.
It was a good looking house. Yeah.
Would you have sold it?
To be honest, I don't know if I would have gave up as easy as they did.
You think they gave up easy?
Yeah, because I feel like they didn't really they were too busy seeking instead of fighting back. In my
Yeah.
mind, they weren't really fighting back. They were just trying to who's doing this? It's like,
Right.
man, stand your ground and just be like, all right, keep doing it.
Yeah.
I'm unbothered. You know what I mean? I'm a lock up. I'm a close up this little secret thing that I found.
Yeah.
So I don't know how y'all gonna get in and out.
Mhm.
I'm gonna have cameras everywhere. I'm gonna have like little alarm systems everywhere. So if you come up from the basement, bam, 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 you know what I mean? I'm gonna
Yeah.
hear you. Like I just feel like they were so quick. Every time something happened, they'd run to somebody, be like, "Who's doing this?"
Yeah.
It's like, bro, first of all, sit for a second. You know
Yeah.
it's not gonna end. So then annoy them
Mm.
and make it seem like, damn, all right, they're not really.
Because I
you
do
know, budget.
feel like whoever was responsible was trying to get a rise out
That's
of them.
exactly what. And I the whole time I'm watching this, I'm like, stop reading the letters.
Yeah.
That's the part that's triggering you the most. And it's like,
It's going to be hard not to read the letters, though.
no, yeah, I get it, but it's like,
Don't read them at the mailbox.
yeah,
That's one.
yeah. Don't
Don't
let them
stand
know.
there and read it. If somebody is sending you letters talking about, I'm watching you,
Yeah, don't let them
don't
know.
read the letters at the mailbox.
This is fact.
Take all the mail in the house. Matter of fact, if I feel like you watching me, I'm going to go to the mailbox and sort through all the mail as I'm walking to the house and not even opening nothing.
Right, I'm not even gonna look bothered. I'm gonna be like, oh well,
Yeah.
the watcher again. I'd wave. I'd be,
Yeah.
I'd be like, hey, watcher.
I'm going to get excited about a check in the mail. But like, wait,
Yeah.
this. I'm going to hold it up to the heavens.
Right, watch this.
Yes. I'm going to high five my son if he on the porch.
Right. I feel like every time I'm outside, I would just start waving
Yeah.
at nothing. Like, hey, buddy.
And so whoever's watching is like, man, they having a good time.
Man,
I'm
I'd leave
living
cookies out and be like, you watching, you
Yep.
might as well hear.
life. Might as well get some snacks.
Yeah, you need something?
Yeah.
I'd be accommodating.
I would definitely play it off to where you're not bothering me.
Yeah.
Internally, though, I'm going to be like, you motherfucker.
Yeah, of course. But also another thing that I don't get, and I'm not going to give away too much, is that how did John get pushed that far? From letters?
Yeah. Why did he become straight up obsessed?
No, I'm talking about John who,
Oh.
like, I get that the whole job thing was
Yeah.
stressful
Oh, yeah.
and then the wife thing, but it's like, that's easy.
Yeah,
That's easy to just, I'm out.
right.
You didn't have to do all that extra stuff.
Well, yeah, that was
It was and from letters, like
Yeah.
literally, like letters is just gonna make you go,
right. Amityville up in
yeah, like it's so ridiculous.
there. Yeah.
So I'm just like, man, these people are soft.
Big soft.
They soft. They
Yeah.
pancakes.
And they
pancake
never got a
batter.
pistol.
They never did nothing. Get a dog.
They've never got a pistol. No.
Imagine a dog. Imagine a big
Yeah,
cane
they had
corso.
a dog
If
of
they had
substance.
a cane corso, get
Yeah.
yourself like a pit bull. Get yourself multiple
I would
big
have got a
ass
crocodile
dogs.
myself.
Fuck it.
I would have got a crocodile.
We out. Oh yeah, that's just George the Croc
Yeah.
downstairs monitoring.
In the basement by the
Yep.
little extra doors or whatever, crocodile.
But is a crocodile too easy to take over? If you're like a
Well, I feel like if you sneak in the house, it might be the only time you sneak in. Because the crocodile, you're not going to expect that.
No, you're not.
You're going to be tiptoeing and coming through the little passageway, and then you probably going to walk right across the crocodile, and then that's when they get you.
Oh, even a monkey, because monkeys are so like you can't capture them. They be
They quick.
all over the place. So it's like if you get a guard monkey, they're not
Yeah.
catching that. Even if they try to shoot it, the monkey's gonna be out. It's gonna be
Right.
jumping.
And then you're going to hear the gunfire at that point.
And then it's like, hello, my monkey caught ya.
Monkey's been coming up a lot today because of DC's question.
Oh well, we should get a monkey. We should get a monkey.
Let me ask you this, Sabrina.
Uh
You go to Indonesia.
oh. Okay. I want
You
to.
get wild on some drugs, and you
Oh.
smash a baboon.
Oh. A baboon. I've seen their penis. I don't know.
You smash one.
Why would I do that?
It's
I would've
just
chose-
what happened. You took a baboon down.
I would have chose up.
Here are the choices for you.
Okay.
It's illegal what you did.
Okay.
You can either go to prison in Indonesia for a year, come back, nobody knows what you did. Nobody ever knows the monkey business. Or you can avoid jail time, but you have to do a big press conference and tell people that you fucked a monkey. What you doing?
So
1 year
I
in jail, nobody
avoid-
knows.
So I mean, how long am I doing jail?
A 1 year in jail.
Indonesian
Yeah.
Indonesian jail?
Mm-hmm. Don't look up nothing. Don't.
I want to look up Indonesian
nah,
jail.
Don't look up nothing.
Shit, Indonesian.
Don't get the
jail.
stats and this.
No, I just want to know what it looked like.
It looks like jail.
No, well, no, but the difference is that like jail out here
Yeah.
could be gorgeous. It could be a resort in
Mhm.
comparison to Indonesian jail. There's some jails out here that look. I be watching them little.
The
There's this-
raid.
Oh shit. Okay. Or
What
I
you
gotta
doing?
tell everybody I smashed. Not everyone gonna watch that press conference.
Press conference is gonna be on all the news outlets.
Yeah,
it's
but,
gonna be big news.
but a lot of people don't really pay attention to the news.
Shit.
But it's gonna go crazy on Twitter.
You
be
on
like, yo,
Twitter
she
as
fuck-
the
she fuck.
monkey chick, monkey business.
Like, fuck it. That's the
You for
OnlyFans
the
right there.
streets.
I'm for the jungle. What you mean? The streets is out.
Baboon.
I might take the jail time because I feel like that's gonna build character. I might come out swole. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Food gotta be fresh. It's gonna be nasty. I'm not gonna be eating a lot because I'm sure a lot of it's not vegan. Or they really respect fruit, so I might be able to eat something.
Right. Probably had some rice, fruit.
Yeah, rice, fruit. I could do that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I guess I'll go to jail.
That's what I.
You gotta look at the bright side of jail.
I picked it. I picked jail as well.
You
I was
want
like-
abs? Go to jail.
I was like, I can't do the press conference. I can't be known as the guy that smashes monkeys out here.
But your ticket sales.
They were saying I can get some good material out of it, but that's just
Right.
material I just don't want to do. So I was like, jail me up, man. Give me that jail time, man. Give me that year.
Damn. Dude, there was this video. I don't know where it took place, so I'm not gonna say nothing. I don't want to get the wrong place.
Mhm.
But this dude was like clown. It was in a different language, and he was clowning like, "Yo, look at my boy. Like, he over here, whatever." He creeps up. You see a fence, and then you see a guy, the back of a guy's head, and he's like thrusting, and you don't know what he's doing. And so his friend, guys being guys, runs up on him, starts laughing like, "Ah!" Which I'm assuming he's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" He's smashing a goat. Smashing. And he's like, yo, he doesn't even stop thrusting. He just, yo, get out of here. I was like, son. And that's on That's on the internets.
Come on, man.
That's on the internets.
These animals didn't sign up for this.
Right.
No consent.
Yeah.
0 consent.
I mean, the goat was like, not moving. I don't know.
The hell, man.
That shit is crazy, but yeah. That shit is so crazy.
People wild out here.
Yeah.
Man are disgusted.
Dude, see a hole. Oh, it's warm and wet. Let me go.
Oh, my God.
Let me go ahead.
Oh, my God. Speaking of watching stuff. So, I watched this show called The Offer on Paramount Plus. The Offer is about pretty much how they got The Godfather made. It's with Miles Teller is the star. You may remember him from such films as Whiplash and Top Gun Maverick. And he plays producer Al Ruddy, who was the sole producer on the Godfather movie. So this show was great. It was great. It showed you everything. It showed you everything they had to go through to get one of the best films ever made. And it was just funny to see everything that was going on behind the scenes. You got the real, mafia involved. You got producers at Paramount. You got Robert Evans and Paramount arguing. You got them arguing over the cast members and all this stuff like that. And so it was really dope to see all the hurdles they had to go through to get the movie made. Because it was like, all right, Mario Puzo, who wrote The Godfather, right? He wrote The Godfather. It became one of the best-selling books of all time. It was like second to the Bible at that point in time. So it was selling like crazy. Mario Puzo wrote the book, and it was an absolute smash. Paramount was on the ropes because they had a string of like flops, so they were on the ropes as a film company. Al Ruddy is coming in from the corporate world. He used to work with the Brand Corporation or something, so he wasn't even in that life of like movie producing and doing stuff like that. So he ended up producing and getting a show made called Hogan's Heroes, which was a hit back in the day. So that was his first foray into like being a producer. Hogan's Heroes, he pitched the hell out of it. It became a TV hit. So Robert Evans is just like, yo, man, let's do a film adaptation of this movie, The Godfather, and let's get that going. And Paramount at that time, Robert Evans had put faith in this movie called A Love Story with Ally McGraw. Love Story starred Robert Evans' wife at the time. And so they greenlit Love Story. They greenlit the Godfather. And they were like, yo, we need writers for this. They were like, yo, let's just have Mario Puzo write the screenplay. And it was just like, no, man. When authors, Hollywood apparently, I found this out recently, they don't want the author of the original material to write the screenplays. That's a different muscle. And so they were just like, nah, we don't want Mario to write the script. And it's like, you're going to take all day. And it's just like, it's a different animal. It's a different animal than writing a novel and writing a screenplay. So then they were like, all right, well, we need a director, man. Let's have this dude, Francis Ford Coppola come in. He's Italian, you know what I'm saying? He didn't have no hits at the time. It was just like, let's have Francis Ford Coppola do the joint, and he can co-write the script with Mario Puzo. So it's a little bit of pushback. And like, man, we don't know, man. Who is this guy? Who is this guy over here? And so they had to fight tooth and nail to get that. So they get it. Francis Ford Coppola and Mario write the screenplay together. So they going at it. And, they want to film in New York. The film company's like, nah, man, it's going to be too expensive, man. We can't film in New York. Mind you, the mafia hears about this movie getting made, and Frank Sinatra was like, man, nah, man. Frank Sinatra and Mario Puzo end up meeting at this one place, and Mario rose up on Frank Sinatra and was like, yo, Frank Sinatra, I'm a huge fan. My whole family's a huge fan. Dude whispers in Frank Sinatra's ear, and he was like, oh, you're Mario Puzo. You wrote The Godfather, man. Fuck you and that book, man. You know what I'm saying? You got Italians out here looking bad, you know what I'm saying? This, that, and the third. So... And Mario ain't no punk. He was like, man, I ain't gonna take no disrespect, man. So they almost they snatch each other up by the collar at this restaurant. Mario pulls a fork out. I don't know what he's about to do with that fork, but he wasn't no hoe. So you got that. So it was like, so then they established the Italian American League or whatever. And then, there's a gangster who just got moved up in the ranks, Columbo, in New York, played by Giovanni Ribisi. I love him as an actor. And so, they're saying, hey, yo, man, we don't want this movie made. So the mob is against it because they feel like The Godfather is not a good look for Italian Americans. The movie studio's like, yo, we can't afford to shoot in New York. Let's just shoot on the film sets. Francis Ford Coppola's like, yo, I want to be in New York. I want it to look authentic. We need to shoot it in New York. Then they were like, all right, we need stars in this movie, man. Who can we get in this movie? We need stars. And so, they talking about Jack Nicholson at one point in time, and then it was like, all right, well, let's get Marlon Brando. It's like, Marlon Brando, he won't do it. He's a loose cannon. And Marlon Brando is notorious for being difficult. Like, you never know what you're going to get with Marlon Brando from a producer's side of it. So they were just like, Francis Ford Coppola was like, I'm going to write him a letter personally to see if he'll do the movie. You know what I'm saying? The movie studio was like, man, we would love Brando. We know he could deliver, but he's hell. So we were just like, nah, we're not really rocking with Marlon Brando. So for the role of Al Pacino's character, for Michael Corleone, Francis Ford Coppola was like, I saw this kid in the play. He's phenomenal, great actor, man. His eyes. And he was just like, who the hell is this, man? We don't know this guy, Al Pacino. We don't know him. No, we're not doing this. So they were against Al Pacino from the jump. They were just like, nah, man, we're not casting this unknown actor to play Michael Corleone, man. Let's get a bigger name. So they arguing, you know what I'm saying? They're getting the rest of the cast solidified. They're getting James Caan. They're getting Robert Duvall. But they were like, yo, we not doing Al Pacino. Francis Ford Coppola is telling Al already, like, yo, man, I need Al Pacino, man. And so you seeing him go through all these hurdles for them to stick with Al Pacino. And Al Pacino's like, I hear what they're saying about me, man. They don't want me on the picture. You know what I'm saying? And the actors that they got to play these, acting legends. The dude playing Al Pacino, he had these like Al Pacino like eyes, and the way he was talking, he was like, I know they don't want me to do the movie. And so, and we all know The Godfather now. We all know that Al Pacino is perfect for the role. And so, and I fully realize that, in my opinion, it's one of Al Pacino's most understated performances. And Michael Corleone says so much with just his eyes in The Godfather 1 and 2. Like, he wasn't that explosive. It was just a lot said in his body language and just the way he was looking at people. And he was looking, when Michael Corleone would be looking at people in that movie, he'd be looking into their soul and like through them. And I'm just like, man, this is so effective without even saying a goddamn word. And so, but they were fighting for Al Pacino to stay in the movie. So much so that they were just like, man, we want him off the picture. Just look at the dailies. Just look at the dailies of this kid. He's like, man, he's little. He's a shrimp. We don't want him. And so, and then Marlon Brando was like, yo, I'll do the movie. You know what I'm saying? I'll do it. Marlon Brando was coming off a string of flops, so he decided to do it. He decided on his own to put stuff in his mouth and to talk the way he did. And Francis Ford Coppola, when they was at Marlon's house, he just pulled out his little camera and was like, man, they left the house like, yo, man, this is what we're talking about. They was excited. Marlon was in. They wrestled a little bit for the fee. And then they were still trying to get rid of Al Pacino. They were still trying to not shoot New York. And the Italian politicians were like, we will never give you the permits to shoot in New York. We're just not going to do it. We don't support the film. The producer had to convince Columbo, who was really in the mob, yo, we're not trying to make Italians look bad in this movie. It's really a story about family. That's what it's all about, family. And he was like, I don't know. And he was like, all right, change some of the language in the script, take out mafia in the whole script. And he was like, done. So they doing all of this, but they still can't shoot in New York because that one politician was holding out. And then they tell the politician, like, look, man, you better let it happen, man. You better just open them legs up and let them shoot here. So they end up getting clearance to shoot in New York. They got the unions at their side. And so you see all of this happening with the mob, the movie studios, the actors. They finally got off their back about Al Pacino. And it was to the point where it was to the point where they were going back and forth so much with Al Pacino. Al Pacino told him, like, look, I thought they didn't want me for the movie. And so I ended up signing up for another movie that's a comedy. And I signed the contract. And they was like, you signed the contract? And then they were just like, yeah. And so they had to get him out of that contract. They had to do a trade-off as a studio. So the producer was like, we'll give you Robert De Niro to be in that movie if you give us Al Pacino. And then Robert De Niro can do the movie that Al Pacino signed up for, and we'll give you rights to a certain book. So it was just like they had to do all this stuff juggling around. And what's funny is Robert De Niro ends up in The Godfather 2 as Vito Corleone. And so they go through all that, and it turns out that The Godfather becomes the highest grossing movie of all time at that time. And, you know, we all know what became of The Godfather. So it was just dope to see that whole process and how they got it done. And Al Ruddy's character had a phenomenal assistant. She was dope. And what I liked about the relationship between Al Ruddy and his assistant is that there was never any sex involved or any type of romance with those two characters. There was like, they kept it professional and they had each other's backs, and it was just like, yo, this is dope. So it was a great show. Now I want to see a series like this about every classic movie now. I would love to watch this about Jaws or Jurassic Park or, you know, Seven or Pulp Fiction. Now I want to see every movie that we deem classic. I want to see a series based on how they got it made, because I know they be going through a lot of shit, and you get a new respect for what movie producers really do, what the directors do, what the writers do, what the movie producers do. It's so much going on behind the scenes that the regular audiences are not privy to, and it's just like, man, these little details right here, and pushes and pushback, and the fights they had to have behind the production. I was just like, yo, man, give us more of this. Give us more. And I hated that it went off. I was just like, man, I want to see, you know, how they get part 2 made. But, you know, if you look at interviews with Francis Ford Coppola, he was like, man, part 2 was way easier to make because they already believed in the product at that point. So check out The Offer if you have Paramount Plus. I'm giving it 4.5 saxophones out of 5. I know it's not an official review, but I just gave you the whole rundown. But it was dope. It was super dope, and it made me go back and want to watch The Godfather. I ended up watching Peggy Sue Got Married instead, which is a totally different movie.
That's hilarious.
Same director though, but it's crazy. And the cast that they got, phenomenal cast. They did a great job. So check out The Offer.
The Offer.
The Offer.
Yeah, you definitely make me want to watch it.
Yeah.
That's such an interesting concept too, to make a whole show.
Because there's so
about
many
making a
moving parts.
movie. Yeah.
That was interesting. You got the mob in there. You got the
makes
movie
sense.
studios. You got marriages getting crumbled up.
Yeah.
And it
That's
was
so
just dope
crazy.
to see. I was compelled.
The show, I mean, it's not exactly the same, but the show I was telling you about not too long ago, Hollywood, that was on Netflix. It
Uh-huh.
kind of like shows you like behind the scenes of like all what it is to make certain things.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is interesting.
Mhm.
This is like, I want more of this.
Right.
And so that's what that sounds like. Like it gives you a glimpse of like, all right, this is
Behind
what it
the
is
scene,
to
how
make
they
a movie.
do,
This is
yeah.
what it is to like be an actor. And this was back in the day though.
Right.
Hollywood takes place in like, I don't even know what year, but this is
30s
throwback.
and 40s.
Yeah.
Probably around there.
So yeah, that sounds interesting. I'm with it.
And it was fun. Like I love watching stuff that's based in reality, because then I go to Google right away as I'm watching the show. It makes you go like, all right, what did this dude do for real? And like, you know, you looking up actors. Oh, they really broke up, and then you looking at like, oh, here's the timeline right here, and it was just dope to see.
I like that.
Shout out to Chicago as a city. Give a quick shout out because Chicago Bulls won yesterday, and so did the Bears. So it was a great night for me as a sports fan and a loyalist, if you will. The Bears beat the Patriots, and the Bulls beat the Celtics. So it wasn't a good night for the Boston area, but it was a great night for Chicago. And it was pressure, so I needed that win. Monday Night Football is pressure because that's the only game on TV. So everybody's looking. If you watch football, everybody was looking at the Bears and the Patriots. So I hate it when we lose on Monday night. I hate it when we lose the late night Sunday game or the Monday night game because, or even the Thursday game because it's the only game on, and so everybody's looking, and it feels dope to not be embarrassed. Shout out to Justin Fields, who reminds me of Serene. He had over 80 yards rushing as a quarterback, and he threw for a touchdown, and he had a great game. So I'm always rooting for this kid, and I'm glad, man. It made me feel good. It was just yesterday was a good day. Yesterday was a great day. My teams won. I had a great shoot earlier in the day that was fun. I watched Black Adam again. I had popcorn. Tony Bacon and Friends was amazing. I had veggie grill. My teams won. It was a good ass day. I worked out. I didn't slack. Just a good ass day, man. Cherish the good days that you have, man. Log it. Mentally log it. Be like, yo, man, yesterday was a good ass day. Log that. Because, you know, we've all had shitty days where you like, man, that was a shitty day. But when you have a good one, take that mental note. What you keep looking at over there?
The time. You want me to
Okay. I was like, man, I wonder what she keep looking at.
I want to make sure I'm on
No,
point.
I was just wondering. I was like, man, she looking over there tough. But yeah, man. Log the good days. The hand.
It's way too much.
Sabrina just found out Ciara's only 37.
Bro, I didn't know she was my age.
She just turned 37?
Hold on. Shout out to the Knicks. We won yesterday too, but that's it.
Well, first of all, the Knicks have only lost one game so far this season.
I know. And it's crazy because preseason, I was like, man, I was never going to be able to keep this up.
Yeah.
And look at us.
The Knicks, man.
But man,
it's early.
I hate it. I know.
Early.
I do that every time. Every time I get
early.
excited, I remember who I'm a fan of, and I'm like, all right.
Yeah. But, you know.
I mean, you know.
Anything can happen.
Anything could happen.
It's early. The Lakers are 0-3.
Yeah, I mean, let's see what happens.
They out here winless in L.A.
Yeah, that's crazy.
LeBron and Anthony Davis don't have no help.
Yeah.
They don't have no help.
That's so crazy.
And LeBron has done enough.
Right, he tired.
He owes nothing to no one. He's still showing up. He needs some help.
Ain't you tired?
Tired. And Westbrook is just...
Wait, yeah, so Ciara's birthday is today. It's October
So she just turned 37.
25th. Yeah. The fact that I'm older than her by a few months
Yeah.
blows my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Because when she came out, I thought she was older than me.
Yeah.
The whole time.
She came out, 2004?
Let me see when Ciara's
Was that her debut? My goodies.
Ciara debut.
My goodies. That's my goodies.
Yeah,
It had to be
2004.
2004. I equate, so this is how I can remember when stuff came out. I think about where I was living when I was seeing the videos. So I thought about Ciara's video and I was like, we were living in family housing, 2003, 2004, 2004, 2005. So it had to be in that time frame. So that's how I can be like, 2004. And I remember not liking her at first because I didn't like Goodies when it first came out. I wasn't really feeling it until
Oh, yeah.
the song Oh in the video, I was like, this shit is hypnotic. And I like the song. So Oh was like, all right, Ciara, I see you. And then here she is, still thriving. You know what I'm saying? I wish her husband was doing better with the Denver Broncos, because I'm always rooting for Russell Wilson as an athlete, as a quarterback. But since he went to Denver, he hasn't really been performing. And I'm just like, shit.
You saw what they did, the Raiders did?
Mm.
They while they were like on the field practicing, they played Future, Mad Loud.
Oh.
They tried to get in his head. But he's probably like,
he ain't worried about Future.
Like, I'm married to her.
Right.
She good.
I'm married to her.
She home.
We good.
Yeah,
you know, I'm a good husband. I love your son.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Your son.
Your son is fantastic, man.
Yeah. All
you know
in.
All in on your son, though.
Like, yeah, right.
I'm successful myself. One of the highest paid football players out right now.
Yeah, he good.
We good.
Yeah.
Future, you doing your thing. Your album is selling.
Good for you.
Good for you, man. We wish you the best. Future be selling, man.
That's crazy.
I may not like his music, but
Future is arguably one of the most influential rappers in the past 10 years.
That's crazy because
yeah, I see it. I see it.
People didn't like when he was first coming up. I'll be honest, I didn't necessarily like Future, and I was in Atlanta.
Yeah.
But it was one of the points where it was like, bro, I can't escape this man.
Yeah.
And then I was like, you know what? I actually do like this. And then I've just been a fan ever since. But seeing his ride, like if people didn't care too much about him, like mainstream success,
Yeah.
like he had some hits, some local hits, and some smaller hits or whatever.
Right.
Then he switched it up with Dirty Sprite too.
This
Put
dude,
him on the
man,
map.
I'm not a fan at all, but I recognize his influence over the game. I do like March Madness, but it's just, even with his latest album, it's doing well, and it's consistently in the upper part of the chart. So it's just like his influence is crazy.
Yeah,
he
got
can't
this-
rap
That was his
worth a
first
damn.
number one, I think, solo number one
With
with
this one?
Wait For You. The song Wait For You.
Oh, well, okay, yeah.
Yeah. No albums, yeah, he's definitely
Man,
had
it's
albums.
just
yeah.
the consistency is crazy.
yeah.
Like, you got to compare him to like a Kanye and a Drake at this point in terms of consistently putting the numbers up. You know, for
Over
a long
yeah,
period
it
of time.
was ridiculous.
Yeah.
I forgot I did the numbers because I forgot how many albums he had put out in like a 2 or 3 year span, but it was, or
Yeah.
mixtapes in general, it was pretty ridiculous though.
And his output is crazy.
Like a year and a half he did.
It's just, for me though, I can't do it. I can't do it, man. I can't. He be featuring on tracks, just ruining the shit for me.
Oh man,
I'd be like, man. But
I like one song. It's the one that he did with Rihanna.
Oh, the
That's-
love song?
Yeah, but I'm a woman. I'm soft. I like that.
soft. I like March Madness.
A lot of people like March Madness.
And it's probably. I'm sure if I sat and listened to a full Future catalog, I can come away with 10
Easily.
that I could be like, all right, I can rock with these.
Yeah.
But I'm not. I don't have the patience to sift through all of the stuff.
It's just now, like, even when I go back, it was like the 7-year anniversary of Dirty Sprite 2, and I went back and listened to it. I was like, dang, this sounds old, but it sounds like a lot of dudes today.
And that's how you know he's a huge influence. When you go back, it's like how when people try to say about Richard Pryor that, you know, I don't see what the hype is, because you've seen all of these comedians that Richard has influenced,
That's fact.
that you feel like, I've seen this guy a million times already. That's because he birthed so many other comedians.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that with Future. It's like so many artists have been birthed from his sound that when you go back to the original, it's just like, man, we feel like we heard this already.
Yeah.
That's because it was
That's
so
kind of like
many-
what happened with Lil Wayne.
Yeah. It's
You go
just
back and
like,
listen to this stuff, you're like, man, you could just hear it. And
Yep.
every, that influence is huge too.
yeah.
Lil Wayne's influence is, I would say, probably arguably the biggest in rap. It's current rap, for sure. I think he has the bigger influence on rappers today than maybe any other rapper, low key.
I can't argue with that. In terms of the sound of these new cats, I can't argue with it because you hear it.
He
It's
did.
just-
He did like he basically did all of that. Like,
yeah.
I can't. Yeah,
Yeah. You can't deny it. And you know me, credit what credit is due. And I'm like, yeah, I hear it. And like, Lil Wayne, for me, he's not in my top. Personally, he's not in my top rapper list, just in terms of airplay for me personally. But I did rotate the shit out of the Carter 3. And I do respect the pen game. I wish he would quit modifying his voice. But other than that, like even on the DJ Khaled song with him and Jay-Z, I just hate that he modifies his voice.
they're like auto tune.
Yeah.
That's
And
Wow.
auto tune, man. They people not gonna get away from that, man.
It's just not needed. Especially for
Now?
Wayne.
Yeah.
Some of these other
songs,
cats need it.
Some songs, whatever. But it's like, I don't really know how many times he's trying to be melodic or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, auto tune that, man. He was there when he's one of the reasons why it's as big as it is now. So let's lock on to that and hold on.
Right.
Like that was the argument I think me and my brother were having. Who was the bigger influence from that period of time? Was it Kanye or was it Lil Wayne? Truthfully, which one was it?
Sonically,
Because there was an era where it was like obviously Kanye. Because
I think
808s,
it's a marriage of the two.
yeah,
Because I feel like 808 and Heartbreak birthed the sound of so much, so many artists since 808s came out. So that sound, I feel like, lives on in a lot of different artists in terms of like the production sound of it, which is Kanye and his collaborators behind the scenes that really cultivated that sound. Verbally, Lil Wayne. So I feel like it's a marriage of the two. So you got the sound of Lil Wayne in terms of vocals, married with the sonic sound of Kanye West.
Yeah, because I'm thinking like, okay, I think it was just that he went full album. Kanye went full album with the auto-tune.
Right.
Because Lil Wayne was already doing auto-tune. T-Pain had already did the auto-tune.
Yeah,
it was already there.
T-Pain was the one that I feel like.
Yeah, he really pushed it there, but it was like, it was just him though. Like it was his thing.
Yeah.
And then Lil Wayne was like, I'm going to tap into this auto-tune thing. And then when he dropped Rebirth, which a lot of people didn't like, I'm a rock star, but I'm a rapper. I do this, I do that. And now you look at every rapper nowadays, I'm not a rapper. I'm a rock star. I do this, I do the auto-tune. Like, you know. And with Kanye, of course, there was like, obviously, Drake, you know, opening the lane for his kind of sound and the filtered out stuff. Yeah, either way, I still probably lean Wayne, though, personally. Even for newer guys, like obviously Young Thug.
I would give it to Wayne too, because not only has Wayne influenced so many artists sound-wise, and also the visual style as well. How they look, how they carry themselves, the whole thing. That's in the Wayne vein, big time.
Yeah.
So you don't have that many artists coming out looking like Kanye West. They more so looking like
Lil Wayne
on the Wayne side. So it was just like Wayne, I feel like, is the bigger influence in terms of total package influence.
Yeah.
Wayne is just, he's birthed so many different artists. It's just like, God damn, and you can't discredit Wayne for that. And I would have never thought Wayne would become what he became.
I don't think
seeing him as a kid with the Hot Boys is just like, oh, a little kid, you know what I'm saying? You never know. This is the future of rap right here. You might think that he had potential.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gave us wobbly wobble wobble.
Drop it like it's hot. You just, that's cute, man. This guy
quotable, but he was young.
Yeah.
When he actually started, when they actually gave him time to rap on them tracks, he was like, oh, he's a problem.
Right. So it's like, oh, snap.
He was just, I can't believe he was that young doing that.
And then,
but it took a while, man. People weren't necessarily looking at him like that. Like if you knew, you knew. But if you like, as far as like mainstream attention, they was like Lil Wayne
for sure.
And then Carter 3 dropped, and they was like Lil Wayne.
That's when it was like. By the time the Carter 3 dropped, it was just undeniable. And then a million in 1 week, it was just like,
like y'all, I'm here now.
And he did that twice, y'all. He sold over 1 million in 1 week for the Carter 3 and 4. So you gotta give it up to Wayne, man. And now we're coming into the era of the Drake era in terms of cats sounding like Drake, like a Jack Harlow or whatever.
Yeah. Which I would have never thought.
Yeah.
Like, we know Drake has an influence as far as like certain stuff, because I listen to older stuff, but I can't put it on anybody. It's just something distinct that he's done that people will try to like emulate or whatever. Yeah. But he doesn't necessarily have the direct influence like a Future or Young Thug does. But there's certain things that he does that people will like lean into or whatever. Because Drake is just what they call him. He's an everyman. He make music for everybody.
He does.
And he's good at it.
Now he tapped into the little house market or whatever. He's just brilliant at tapping into. Nobody's left out.
Yeah.
He's just like, I'm getting into all of this.
And doing that kind of stuff will make people either really like you or really hate you.
Yep.
I love it when he speaks Spanish on a track.
He be doing that too. He dipping into the international market.
He be going in too.
And so just like this dude's a genius.
And he be like, because some people will hop on a Spanish track but still speak English.
Yeah.
He's like, nah,
man, I'm going all in.
I'm going all in. And it's so funny because he's on that Romeo track and he sounds Dominican, and then he's on a Bad Bunny track and he sounds Puerto Rican, so it's like he's picking up on like the accents cues. And like I'm like, okay.
So people forget Drake was an actor first. That makes a huge difference in how he can just switch up how he his persona when he gets on the track.
Right.
He just feels like he belongs there.
Yeah.
It's rarely ever hear a Drake song to be like you might not have wanted him on the track, but it don't really sound like he was like out of place.
Yeah. Yep.
That's the quality of Drake. That's why he's been around for so long. If you can make it so that you fit in with just about everything that somebody's making, you hard to beat.
Right.
And I heard he wrote have y'all listened to Beyonce's album?
I gave it a once over.
He wrote Heated on there. Co-wrote
he
or
wrote
something
that.
like that. He wrote it,
Oh,
but
wow.
you can hear his influence on how she sing. You can hear that.
Yeah.
Like that's Drake's sound. Like you can tell that.
Oh, wow.
He had to play on it. If you go listen to it again, you can hear it.
I got to check back in on that. Have
Yeah.
you listened to it, Sabrina?
Mm-hmm.
You like it?
There's some songs I have on my playlist.
There's some
that I
tracks
like.
on there.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah. I listened to it when it first hit the streets. I was like, this ain't too bad, but I never went back. So it wasn't like I didn't like what I heard. I just wasn't compelled to cue it back up.
I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she kind of made an album like that. Like not necessarily like it doesn't have replayability. It's just that when you hear it that one time, it was like, that was good.
Yeah.
It's like you don't necessarily need to go back to kind of like try to catch a whole bunch of stuff.
Right.
It's just it's a work of art. Like she really put her time into it. And I respect that Beyonce just does that.
I respect her as an artist 100%.
Yeah. No, there ain't nobody on Beyonce's level. She don't have peers.
Yeah.
For real.
She is.
Like there's obviously we got Rihanna, but Rihanna's in a different vein. I feel like Rihanna's on her own level in a different space than Beyonce. I don't think they share the same. They don't even really make the same music per se.
I don't think they even have the same talent.
No,
their
it's
talent
different.
is completely
Their
different.
talent levels
Beyonce's
is totally different.
mad
Definitely got
talented.
different talents.
Yeah. But that's like people will bring Rihanna in. Not saying that she's better than Beyonce, but as far as like in that room. But I was like, I feel like Rihanna's just a different realm.
Yeah, I think it's just based on like celebrity.
Yeah. And I think we're in that time period now where back in the day, it was like these people were competing to be in the same
best,
room.
Right.
Now it's like we got rooms of people who are damn great at different things.
Right.
And then they can live and exist on their own. You know what I'm saying?
You know what's interesting and like crazy to think about? They will always put in like Britney and Christina against each other. But Britney had no talent.
Zero.
Compared to Christina?
Zero.
Christina can sing.
Yeah.
Christina sing you under the table.
And the fact that Britney low-key was almost bigger than Christina is...
she was high-key bigger than
high-key. Not even low-key. But
she was high-key
it's
bigger.
so interesting that like this is what we went with.
But if you put them on stage, standing still, Christina will incinerate Britney Spears.
With one note.
Just, it's not even close.
Yeah.
But they would have... Because they were Disney kids.
Yep.
They both in this realm of like pop and stuff like that, but they never felt the same at all. Definitely didn't sound the same.
Bro.
And, you know, and I've never liked a Britney Spears song. I've never heard a Britney Spears song that I actually liked.
Yeah, it is so
To this
crazy.
day.
Well, I like videos more than the songs. Like
Videos,
visuals.
shoot.
Yeah.
I remember the snake.
Yeah, that was great.
Britney
That was
Spears
great.
she's
Oh,
a
that visual
pop
right there.
icon
Yeah.
for even more than just her music alone. That's what, like as far as like influence, look, and all that. Britney Spears is gonna go down as far as that goes. But as far as singing, nobody's gonna be like, I was inspired by Britney Spears.
Oh yeah,
That's just facts.
Oh, her voice.
No,
I was inspired with my little talent to make it big.
Because I like Christina out the gate. I like Genie in a Bottle.
Oh yeah,
when I first
Christina's
heard
dope.
it. I was like, yo, this is a good song. And
She got that Redman song.
Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Dirty and she had Redman with her. And then when she connected with DJ Premier, who's one of my favorite hip hop producers, and did Back to Basics, I was like, man, let's go.
Christina's dope, and she can speak Spanish, so she can be all over the market. She's
Right.
probably bigger overseas. We just don't know.
And she was big here. Don't get me wrong.
No, she was huge here.
But
big
Britney
here.
Spears was a
With
goddamn
Britney
force.
Spears, it was just ridiculous with the numbers she was doing at
Yeah.
that time. It was just like crazy. But for me, musically, she just never registered to me.
That's
Of course, I
crazy.
know Oops, I Did It Again because it was everywhere. You couldn't escape it.
Right.
That sound
Like
was
I can
just what it
sing the
was.
hook, but my soul is dead. But
You do the dance. I walk in
All
on
of
you. You
that-
got pigtails for no reason. The whole school girl.
I'm not that innocent. You hear me? I'm not that innocent.
That's just I just think Britney
But they
Spears,
always
NSYNC
want
and
to
all of
pit
that.
people against each other and like Beyonce and Rihanna, pit them against each other.
It's like nah.
That's not even
nah.
fair.
It's not necessary.
It's not necessary. That's another thing. Because it's funny. Yesterday I was thinking in the car. So Nicki Minaj has been like in the news a lot lately.
Nicki
because-
Minaj low key had a little comeback right now. Keep going.
But she's just beefing with everybody.
Yeah.
And it's like, why?
She messy, man.
Shut up.
She messy.
Yeah.
And then Lil Kim too, and it's like, why they're pitting themselves against each other.
Yeah.
Even though I know we tend, like, as a mass, as a whole, we tend to do that. But it's like,
especially
damn.
as blacks.
Yeah, like
We
bring
always
back
comparing.
Not Tonight era.
Yeah.
Remember that song?
Mhm.
That song was great.
Yeah.
Everybody was on that song. Everybody on that song was popping at that time.
Right.
And made a dope little
Mhm.
ditty.
Right.
You feel me? Like, and it was a fun video.
Yeah.
It was a good time. I feel like that's never gonna happen again. Except Babyface just dropped a new album.
Did he?
And he's got all the big time R&B girls.
I heard the one with
Oh.
LMA on it. I liked it. He took
Mhm.
the Can We Talk like chord progressions and made
Really?
something different. Yeah.
So is this like another Wait Nick Sale soundtrack? What you saying? Is he singing at all?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like Babyface and
Oh wow.
so it's called Girls Night Out.
Oh.
That's the name of the album.
Who else he
And-
got on there? Because I didn't
He
know
got
it was out.
Kalani,
Oh,
Ari
okay.
Lennox.
Okay.
Let me see who else he got right here. Give me the list. Give me the list of
Oh,
people.
snap.
I know
never
LMA.
knew
LMA
about
was the
this.
one that I
Yeah,
heard.
it just dropped.
Shit. I gotta tap in.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Babyface songwriter, one of the goats. for
Oh
sure.
man.
Yeah, and that's gonna be
His
interesting.
pen is just and
All
he,
right, so Angie Martinez, which is interesting. Queen Naija, that's how you say her name.
Mhm.
Tiana Major, Tink, Baby Tate, Priscilla Renee, Amare,
I don't know a lot of these
Seven.
cats.
Doechii,
Hmm.
LMA,
I know Element.
Coco Jones.
Mhm.
Yeah, Ari Lennox, like I said.
Ari Lennox, yeah.
Yeah, he got.
Ari Lennox got a good album out, by the way. It's a
she's
good
great.
album.
Yeah,
Her voice is so distinct.
Man, I like it. A lot of those artists I hadn't heard of, but shit, I'm pulling up.
right.
I'm pulling up.
7.
That's a Houston album right there for you.
Houston.
You going to Houston, and
Oh,
you
yeah.
always need a new
I
album.
always need a new album. There's something else coming out. Oh, West Side Gun is putting out an album too this weekend. So
Okay, there you
I
go.
got West Side Gun and the Babyface album. It's gonna be Houston right there.
Mhm.
And when I was just out in Houston for the funeral, I was listening to Freddie Gibbs' new album.
Oh, okay.
So that album will also, be a Houston thing.
Look at you.
Babyface, huh? Interesting.
Babyface,
Did not
man.
know.
He got visuals to it and everything.
Really?
hmm
I had to pull up because Waiting to Exhale is one of the best
Oh, absolutely.
bodies of work ever for me.
I think that's the first album that me and my mom
Could get together. on.
was like, I love this album.
Yeah.
Me too.
Y'all
that video of or that the meme of Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah,
Yes.
Carl Weathers. Like,
Yes. That's me and my mom.
I'm
with
glad
Waiting to
y'all
Exhale.
have that. And we were like, Ma, Waiting to Exhale.
But it was,
Oh.
when I tell you it's completely different. Like, it's so funny. We both love that album,
Yeah.
but for different reasons. I
Right.
love it because I'm like, this is great. I'm listening to the upbeat stuff. Woo,
Yeah.
Even the sad stuff, I'm like, yeah, girl,
Uh-huh.
don't cry. But my mom's drinking wine
She
and she's singing it from her fucking soul. And she's like, I feel every word.
Man, I was your lover and your secretary. You know what I'm
My
saying?
mom felt it on a different level.
Different level.
Yeah.
You was just happy to be here.
I
at
was
that
happy
time.
to be here. She was Arthur with the closed fist. Like,
Man. You was 10,
yeah.
11.
And I was loving that album.
That album's great.
It's such a good album.
It puts me in a good state of mind. It puts me in a good space. And I just got good memories attached to living with it when it was new. So I think Babyface works wonders with female vocalists, male and female, but he can write for women, man. And I can't wait to tuck into that new album.
Yeah, it should be good.
Yeah.
I'm all in.
Tom Brady has a rookie card that sells for $2.4 million.
Yeah, somebody bought it.
Somebody
God
bought
damn.
it for $2.4 million.
That's
A
crazy.
card. A card. Tom Brady's rookie card. And Tom Brady is, struggling this season, but he's one of the best quarterbacks, if not the best quarterback of all time in the NFL. So if you got the money, I don't know who bought it, but
$2.4 million for a card is
for
crazy.
a card.
That's crazy.
You better have a hell of a
and that's
display
just to
case.
be like, I got it.
Yeah.
Because what are you gonna do with a card? I mean, are you hoping the value goes up more later, or you actually collect? Like, I'm just thinking like that's a lot of money to just be like, yeah, man. What'd you drop $2.4 million on today? A card.
A card.
Tom Brady rookie card.
It's Tom Brady. I want to know the net worth of whoever bought the card. Because what if their net worth is $3 million and it was like 2.4 for this? And I'll just be like, damn, you just got 600,000 left over. It's all worth it. I sold my house.
I gave up my kids and everything.
Man, the whole shebang. But goddamn, that's a lot for just a card, man. I wonder how much the most expensive Garbage Pail Kid card is. How much did that go for?
Man, I used to have those.
Oh, I used to collect Garbage Pail Kids, man. That's before your time, man. You know what I'm saying? But man,
no, we had Upper Deck.
Upper Deck. Upper Deck been around. Garbage Pail Kids, though, I was all in on them joints.
I definitely had got into it too.
Oh, the one with the atomic head? So Nasty Nick is the most valuable Garbage Pail Kid card, valued at $7,500.
I definitely had Nasty Nick. I had all of those. Oh, you know what?
Wait, hold on. Let me look at Nasty Nick. Which one's Nasty
My
Nick?
mother might still have all those. She be having.
Yo, you might need to.
stuff. And then my uncle too. My uncle has a lot of my like toys.
Jeff.
It's the thing of it is like when people get those, they have to keep it in like good condition. Like you can't ever just be like,
hold on, man. Wait, let me look these up real quick. Hold on. I'm sorry. I gotta hold on to it just a second here. I just want to see what Nasty Nick looked like for sure. See if I remember this. Because I thought it was
he the one with the boogers and
let's see. He might be.
I feel like that's him.
Nasty Nick. Image. What was it?
Oh, you might have to put Garbage Pail.
Oh, Nasty Nick is Dracula based.
Really?
This is Nasty Nick.
Oh. That's hilarious.
He got a
so ain't even a player.
got a Barbie doll in his hand.
What?
That's Nasty Nick. And then Corroded Carl. Let me see what Corroded Carl.
Oh, there was one that had a big booger coming out his nose.
I remember that visual.
And I remember liking him. I was like, this guy.
Corroded Carl.
Yo, that's such a funny.
Corroded Carl.
I want him to come back. Yo. Oh, he was like Melvin. He was like a swamp thing.
Damn. So all right, if you want to look up the top selling Garbage Pail Kid, not top selling, but the most valuable ones, Nasty Nick is number one. Corroded Carl, Atom Bomb, that's the one who's that's iconic visually. Evil Eddie, Joel to Joel, Dirty Harry, Schizo Fran, Junkie Jeff.
Not Junkie Jeff.
Junkie Jeff.
Schizo Fran.
Oh, they got everybody here.
Yeah, they got everybody's price.
Oh, they got the top. Wait, hold on.
What was it, top 100?
Oh shit, I don't know what they're doing on this page, but those are the top most valuable joints. I never watched the movie, never bothered because I knew it was gonna be whack.
It's the visuals, the what's the word I'm looking for? The animation, whatever. It's creepy.
Garbage Pail. I was like, man,
so
it's gonna be
creepy.
garbage. But I really love my favorite Garbage Pail Kid of all time. Just in case y'all wondering, is Roy Bott. Roy Bott was my favorite Garbage Pail Kid card of all time. That was my number one.
Man.
He was my number one Garbage Pail Kid. He's not gross or anything. He's dope. Did you look him up? Look up Roy Bott. I was like, yo, this is right up my alley, goddammit.
They gotta play on words with these names.
Yeah.
Oh, is he what's it called?
Roy Bott. He's
a Transformer?
Yeah.
He's Optimus Prime?
He looked more like Ultra Magnus, but yeah. That's him.
Oh.
That was my favorite one, man. That was my favorite Garbage Pail Kid card.
That's crazy.
Back in the day. All right, man. Shit, we can get the hell up out of here.
Hold on.
Huh?
We have to pay respect to Leslie Jordan.
Leslie Jordan, my bad.
Because he got a lot of people, just like you did, through the pandemic. Cause that man's videos was hilarious. He'd be like, "Well, shit, what you doing? Screwing?"
Yo, did you know he was 4'11"?
Yeah, he's tiny. Cause he's
Dang.
in Will and Grace. Remember, I watched all of Will and Grace.
Yeah.
He's in American Horror Story, which I
Uh-huh.
also watched. He's in this other show called The Cool Kids.
Uh-huh.
It's about like these older set of friends.
Oh, Cool Kids with David Allen Greer?
Yes.
Okay, yeah,
He's in
yeah.
that.
Vicky Lawrence?
Which I enjoyed. He was in The Help. He was in a lot.
He was in The Help?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
he was behind a desk, so you couldn't tell his height. But yeah, every time he was next to somebody, he was like the villain in Will and Grace, which was so funny because he would come in with his little attitude and be like, "Man, this guy," because it was always him against Jack.
Okay.
And it like he was hilarious to me.
He died in a car accident.
He died in a car accident at
Trash.
60, a single car accident at 67. And he just bought his first condo. He made a video about it and everything. He's like, I just, don't ever let anybody tell you that it's not possible. I just bought my first condo at 67. He's like, I'm living in my deluxe apartment in the sky.
Oh.
And when you hear
little
that,
Jefferson's reference?
yeah. But when you hear that, it's like,
damn, man.
he didn't even get to
And
enjoy it.
The car accident was because they think he had like a health problem while he was driving.
That's
and
what
crashed the car.
Oh,
That's
okay.
what it sounded like.
'Cause that's what
No, that's
Shannon
what they
was
were
telling
saying.
me, that the car wasn't even that banged up. So
Yeah, he was in Hollywood when it happened.
it could have been like cardiac arrest or something.
Probably.
Damn, man. That
That's my
sucks,
guy,
man.
He got so many videos.
Yeah, when you told me that yesterday, I was like, man, come on, man.
Yeah.
The one that stuck out to me was like, oh Lord God, I'm about to bust. That shit is so funny.
So many quotables that he blessed us with. Like, he really blew up during the pandemic. And there's ones of like him yelling at his mom. He's like, "Mama, please leave me alone. I'm talking to my friends." And he's just talking to his phone.
Yeah. His mom still alive?
Apparently.
Dang.
That's crazy.
That sucks, man. Shout out to Leslie Jordan, man. Shout out to Leslie Jordan. Man, death is a raggedy hoe. Enough. We out here trying to live, man.
Right. And I do want to say, when it comes to grief, let the person who's grieving, like you said, drive the ship.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Let the person who's grieving, don't force anybody grieving to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking from like something personal that I recently went through. Don't try to force people to talk. Don't try to force people to like move and exist in a certain way, especially immediately after. Just let people grieve the way that they want to grieve. You can't let people grieve. You can't make people grieve on your time, and there is no timeline for grief.
Mm-hmm.
Grief is forever. And that's all I gotta say.
Yeah. And that's real though, because I had to tell people this when we were in Ground Zero with Serene. It was just like, you gotta let the people most affected by it just handle it the way they handle it. And basically the best way to show up for people is just be around. That's all you got to do. Be around.
Yeah.
And they will let you know what's needed. And so all you got to do is just physically be around. You ain't got to come in with deep quotes and the meaning of life. And you ain't got to come in with none of that. Just be in close proximity. Just reach out on some regular stuff. And I find that was the most effective for me. Just people just being around, being close, being, whatever, talking about different things. And when the wave comes, they just there. You know what I'm saying? Why you go through the wave and then you come back and you can't really, dictate how a person should move and stuff like that. So just make sure people eat though. That's
like number
important.
one. And water.
You gotta eat and drink water.
Yeah.
Making sure they're trying to take care of themselves.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like make sure that they're like good
Exactly.
physically.
Like if they starving themselves, that's when you got to drop the hammer down.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I'm
then
saying?
you
I
go,
know
"Hey,
you
man,
sad, but you
I
gonna
know,
drink this
yeah.
shit right
You
here.
drink
and
this
then-
smoothie.
Yeah. You know.
And another thing I do want to say, I know we're so used to thinking that these are the words that need to be used when somebody's grieving, but try to avoid stronger, healing, better, because all of those words can be triggers. And you never get stronger, you never fully heal, and things will most likely never be better. You just learn how to exist with the sadness, and you learn how to move and function and still be a normal human being while there's a dark cloud nearby. You know what I mean? So I think it's very unfair to be like, things will get better, or you'll be stronger, or healing. Like this is a wound that this wound will be there forever. You know what I mean? So it's just like, I know. And also, please refrain from saying this was God's plan, because that shit is not fair.
Don't even come with that.
That shit is not fair. That's
or is something bigger is
Man.
coming.
yeah. They
Like,
they
come on.
needed them.
Don't even come with that.
Yeah,
because-
stay away from that.
And not everybody is religious like that, so
That's
that
facts.
that won't even hit the same. I remember my boy told me, you know, because one of my good friends lost his dad recently, and he was just like, you know, he was saying that he was looking for answers on, you know, how to deal with the loss he just sustained, and I was like, answers to what? And he was like, on how to deal with the pain, move forward, deal with the grief, find real joy in the things I used to. And I was like, unfortunately, there is no answer. Like I told him straight up, there's no answer. And I was like, especially given how fresh this is, ain't no answer. I just told him that straight up. I was like, ain't no answer. You're not gonna get it there. We've been dealing with this since human existence, and nobody has the answer. So don't even when the pastor come up and tell you, I got the answer. No, they don't.
Nah.
Nobody has the answer. All you can do is learn how to live with the loss and be able to exist while feeling the pain. And so.
And then after such a major loss, time no longer makes sense.
Right.
And I always tell people that time will no longer make sense, because the idea of it being over a year,
right,
it doesn't even feel like that.
No.
You know what I mean? So like, just because for you, you're like, well, it's been this long, so they should at least get to a certain place where they can function. And it's just like, that doesn't make sense.
Nope.
Like
That
that's
does not,
that.
Nah.
Yeah, that
That's
no
a
longer.
terrible thing to say.
Yeah, time no longer applies.
There's no time in grief.
There is no time.
No. Even if you were numb for the first 6 months and it just hit you 8 months down the line.
Mm-hmm.
That's how
That's
it
just
be.
what it is.
That was me.
Yeah.
Because remember, I was doing everything.
Right.
And so I was good. I was letting it out.
Yeah.
But there was a point where it hit me mad hard later
At
on.
the
when
mural, you was
the
devastated.
mural. Yeah, that's when it.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because, you were there. Every
Yeah.
time you would break down, I was like, yeah, rubbing your back.
Like, yeah,
For everybody,
you know what I'm saying?
everybody involved, I was there. I was like, yeah,
Right.
yeah, I'm here, da-da-da.
Mhm.
Oh, well, we need to plan something. All right, boom, boom, da-da-da-da.
Right.
But that mural, I was like,
That mural day,
motherfucker.
that's when I seen you cry the hardest ever.
Because
was in
that made it
moment.
real.
Yeah.
Even though it was real the whole time,
Yeah.
but like just seeing like his face
Mm-hmm.
being memorialized, it's like, this is stupid.
Right.
That's how I felt. Like, man, this is fucking dumb.
Right.
Like that was my idea. Like that was my mentality the whole time. To this day, I'm like, this is so fucking stupid.
Right.
Just seeing him on the mantle, I'm like, get the
That's
fuck
like,
out
man,
of here.
come on, man.
This
is horse shit.
Piece of shit life.
Right.
This is dumb.
I feel like a lot of people had that one moment though. It's just that's all it takes is that one moment to be like,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
damn. That's when you
a-
have to come with terms to that shit.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
And it's just, you never know when it's coming.
Mm-mm.
You
I
just be
was
like,
when my friend committed suicide, I was like, I was shocked, but it was like I couldn't really feel it, and that's
Yeah.
usually how
Oh,
it goes
yeah.
for me. It's just like I'd be like, yo, such and such, and it's just like shocking to me, and I was just like, I
Right.
don't. My girlfriend was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Yeah." I was being honest. I was like, "Yeah, I'm okay. I don't.
Right.
I'm And then when I went and it was like I don't know what it was supposed to be, but it turned into like a viewing, but I didn't know that his body was gonna be there.
Uh-huh.
Fucked me up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we was just like it was me and one of my friends. I had never met the friend that I had met up with in person.
Yeah.
It was our first time meeting in person. So that's our first like real interaction. But I knew the person that passed away in real life. That was one of my friends from high school.
Right.
And went up there and it was like, where, like, why are we in? Like, we were signing the thing. It was like, that ain't him, is it? It was him. And it just.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
I was like, man, I wasn't ready to see all that.
Right.
And it just, it's take you back to those moments to be like, man, damn. And then like the part afterwards, like I remember talking to my dad. He's like, the hardest part is gonna be being like, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the part that gets me every day. I just be like,
that's it. He's like, damn.
It's crazy. My
That's
friend Eric passed away in 2020, and I'd be cussing him out mentally, but it never really like hit me. But he has a mural in Harlem.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the day I see that, I'm
That's when
done.
it's gonna
That's when I'm
sock
gonna be.
you out.
I'm gonna be cussing up a storm. I'd be cussing him out all the time because he took his life, and I'd be like, "You motherfucker!"
Yeah.
But he knows me, like, you know what I mean?
Right.
But that's just how we were. Like, man,
Mhm.
piece of shit. Like, what are you doing? So, like, I feel like that's the day that it's really gonna be like, damn it.
Mhm.
Even though it's been years now.
Right.
But I'm scared. I last time I was in New York, I avoided Harlem.
Mm.
Yeah, I avoided Harlem.
We was in Harlem.
We was on 120. Well, I avoided that part of Harlem, Spanish
Okay.
Harlem.
Yeah.
We was on 125th. 125th, I can do. What the hell were we there for? Food.
We were there we went by the Apollo. I bought those sweatshirts. I think we just went just to go to Harlem.
Yeah, but we stood on 125th. We didn't go. We didn't
stayed
venture
right
off.
there.
If we would have ventured off,
Uh-huh.
I probably would have broke down.
Yeah.
But like 125th is obviously still Harlem, but that's not the part of Harlem that gets me, because I used to live on 117th between 1st and 2nd. Now those parts of Harlem is like, that's home. That's like, but like 125th turned into damn near Disneyland, bro.
Yeah, I could feel that. I could feel that.
You
but
feel it, right?
it still had its dope New York appeal, but I could tell this
yeah.
is where people come when they from out of town. You could tell they come here because Harlem is so historic.
Yeah.
So you can tell that was the area where it goes down.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah. And I still, you know what I'm saying, I still get hard waves tough.
Mm-hmm.
You remember that last breakdown I had when I got off the phone about the court stuff.
Oh man.
I barely could drive. I was just like,
and then certain shit just pull you back in there.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
It triggers be a real thing.
Yeah.
And it just be like, I don't know. It just be certain moments. It just be like random shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then
you think about it like, damn, like a song coming like, damn.
Yeah.
I remember.
And
Man.
done.
When Drew said, love y'all.
Yeah.
Hold it together. Hold it the fuck together. And it just be like little things where I'm just like, damn.
Yeah. You did some phenomenal stuff in Houston, man.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Sabrina went to Houston just to, be with Jason's family at their house. And, because Tammy, and Juju, and the family, they're just dealing with a lot. And it's fresh, and she went down there to spend a week with them, and she did some phenomenal stuff.
Thank you, appreciate
Breakthrough McGee.
Thanks. Yes, it's crazy. Like I didn't know what to expect.
You showed up and showed out.
I feel like there's always that one person that does that.
Yeah.
No matter what it is, it'd be somebody that you would not expect.
It's always an unexpected person just coming through.
It's like, God damn,
in the clutch,
right? Because we were close before, but we weren't this close.
Right?
We weren't. I'ma pull up to your crib.
Yeah.
Randomly close.
Right.
Even though like I know I could have.
Yeah.
But it still wasn't to this point where like, okay, you're going through some shit, I'm gonna be there. Like I think I was the last person they expected.
This is the most time you spent with them
as a whole.
Time
yeah, because usually it's like an hour.
Yeah.
Or even like maybe even less than that. But yeah, I really didn't know what to expect. But I keep saying that it was like a substitute. What do I keep saying? It's like a teacher.
It's like a teacher going to that classroom that's just
like the bad class and the bad hood and everybody
going through it. In there.
It was when I tell
you come in here.
Yes, that's exactly
we don't need
the energy.
You around here.
That was the energy. And I was like, man, I don't give a fuck about what nobody said before me.
Right.
Because fuck what they talking about. They wrong.
Right.
You're right. And it was like when the students are seen for the first time,
Yeah.
like, oh.
Oh, this teacher's different.
And that's exactly
You think
what
you
it
know
felt
what
like.
it's like? I've been there.
Yeah.
'Cause
And that's exactly what it
I've
was.
been there. I've been where you at.
That's exactly. I was saying stuff that I went through that she's like, oh,
Yeah.
yes. And I'm like,
Mhm.
yes.
Connecting.
And this is, they were married for 21 years.
Damn.
So this is a lot, you know.
Mhm.
But I'm just happy that I could be there. And yeah. Oh, one time we went to the store. It was me, Jew, and Jew's best friend. And, you know, they were being teenage boys, 16-year-olds. And the cashier was like, oh my God, are these your sons? I was like, yeah, these are my sons. They're crazy kids. I'm 52. I just turned 52.
Lying straight
And
up.
she said, oh my God, you look so good.
Bro, why you be lying to people,
And
man?
it was so funny. I was like, yeah, vegan.
Stupid.
Never told her I was lying.
Yeah.
And just walked out. And Drew was like, yo, you never told her you were joking. I was like, because I want her to tell that story.
Sabrina's a fraud,
I
man.
want her to tell that story. I met a 52-year-old. She looked great.
Had 2 teenage boys, man. She
Okay.
look a day over 37. But you did phenomenal stuff, man. That was amazing.
Thank you. I
Proud of
appreciate
you,
it.
man. Anyway, we're getting the hell up out of here. I gotta do Gross Point Bake. Is up next. Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Verbal Cardio. Please tell your friends, share this with your friends and family. Like and comment, even if you're in here live, come back when I post the video and like and comment. Also, please comment on everything we talked about in this episode, your favorite memories, all that, your favorite parts of the podcast. Let's get that engagement going and what you picking and all that good stuff, man. I love y'all passionately, and we out.